Yo, what's guys, I'm Fire here, back with another video, and today we're going to be hopping into another Madden 23 gameplay. Today we're going to be running an offense, and it is going to be the Gun Stack Y Flex. It has become very popular recently, and it's out of one of the best playbooks in the game as well. It has just some really good plays that you guys will see. It's very balanced. You can run the ball super well out of it, and the passes, they are unique, but they once again can be very effective. So this is once again a post commentary. Today we are going to be using the Denver Broncos country. Let's ride. Let Russ cook. We're going to be using Denver, and we're going to be facing Green Bay. Now, as you know, for every offensive gameplay, we have to start out on defense because that's just how the game wants it to be. But defensively, we are going to be starting out nickel over, potentially switching over to things, rotating to things like dollar, etc. So, starting out in this nickel over, he's going to actually be in the deuce close formation, which is a nice balanced formation. We're going to start out in some quarters, though. He's actually going to go with quick passes, which was a concept that he used a lot, I'll say. He used this concept a ton, just these quick snap passes, and it definitely did change the way that I had to play my defense because he threw them a lot and he completed a lot of those passes, which you will notice. So, it's a good concept, especially when you have the fastest release in the game. In Aaron Rodgers, you would kind of be unwise to not do that consistently, especially when you're running man coverage, as I was in a lot of cases where the safeties a lot of times are manned up on slot receivers or tight ends to where they're so backed off that you can really just snap throw them and pick up consistent yardage. But he's going to try and run the ball, which is definitely not the move against nickel over, compressed like that. And that's going to bring up a 3rd-6, our first opportunity here to get off the field. And he is going to go play action. We have more or less everything bagged. He does go deep and actually completes it. And this is the moment where I'm like, all right, we got to get this corner out of the game. We got to move Surtain over to that left side. Something's got to happen because that dude just got fried. I don't know if that was a backup or what the case was, but not a good situation to be getting that beat in a quarter zone. Now, you know, it is quarters. Maybe if it's man coverage, it's bagged regardless, but definitely not the best thing for us. Now, as we already go to an adjustment, that's going to be dollar, and you'll see the first example of him, I think, quick snapping this to Christian Watson or Robert Tonyan here, just because, again, the safeties are about 12 to 13 yards off the ball, and we even Kareem Jackson, he comes down and kind of makes a play, but he just doesn't have enough speed to get there, and kind of takes a bad angle. He's able to fit it inside, and it ends up being a touchdown for him, Christian Watson. So, not a good start, but if you watch a lot of my videos, if you watched a lot of these gameplays this year, you guys know this is usually how I start out the games, and we're able to make adjustments based on them. It seems consistently that I'm always giving up 7 points on the first drive, whether I throw a pick six or whether we just let them march down the field the way that we did there. That's not a good example of a first drive because generally, if you're going to let him score a touchdown, you want him to work for it. You want to see a lot of his offense right there. I got some bits and pieces, some ideas. He wants to stay relatively balanced, and he likes those quick snap streaks, so that's kind of all we really got from it, other than the fact that, again, he wants to mix in the run, the pass, switches the formations a lot. So, but more importantly, we're running the stack Y flex. Again, Saints offensive playbook, Chiefs playbook on defense, and with the stack Y flex, we're going to go ahead and set up some audibles. First things first, we want to throw in our fade out play, which I guess I just realized we already had. We are going to go with the Y sail, I want to say, and then we already have PA read. Now, there's a couple of other really good plays. Salam pivot on the right you saw there. That is a really good play. It has some nice man beaters with the tight end on a zig, and you see Judy's on this kind of reverse in breaking zig. So I will run this play stock just a lot, and here we're going to hit our tight end, Seibert. I ended up subbing in Dulcich, I think, after the first drive, I want to say, but for your running play, you have a base, which is really nice. Quick base, of course, very good this year. So we do like base over the inside zone. And you'll notice what I do this game is a lot of patient running. Now, I do throw the ball a little bit more than I, pass, but look at how patient I am. You see, I don't end up actually pressing the right trigger on my controller until our right guard ends up pulling and actually blocking him. Now, usually when I'm running this formation, I like to keep my stack on the left side. I don't flip this formation too often. There are rare cases where maybe I'm trying to hit one of those deep breaking corner routes, but for the most part, I keep it simple. Now, here we're going to go to our first play of fade out. All I do is throw RB on a little out route, and it ends up opening up. It looked like some kind of a man coverage where Javonte Williams was able to run free. So we end up picking up a huge gain right there, 20 to 30 yards. And it was man coverage. That was his assignment. He was using him. And you see, we will go back to that, putting our running back on these different routes, because if you're going to use him, it's very difficult to use the running back when he's on those in routes or out routes, because you just don't know where it's going. So here we end up running the football again. We did put in Chase Edmonds. So he's going to go a little bit crazy for us right there. Or, I don't know, is that Chase Edmonds? I'm actually going to go get my phone and look it up. Maybe it's not Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds is on the... I don't know. Maybe it is. Oh, yeah, it is Chase Edmonds. Never mind. I'm tripping. But nonetheless, oh my God, we had Jerry Jeudy there. I think if I rec catch it instead of aggressive catch it, we could have had the touchdown out of that fade out play. It is Chase Edmonds. I was tripping. For some reason, I was thinking of like the Dolphins and the 49ers Jeff Wilson trade and how he went there. But I was like, no, he's actually was a part of the Bradley Chubb trade. I'm tripping, which is originally what I thought. But nonetheless, 3rd and 1, we go back to the quick base. And you see, I'm staying pretty balanced here. You know, we've kept things relatively balanced so far. Of course, that's subject to change because later in the game, I start to get bored of running the ball and end up passing. Here was a nice fade out setup. I like just drag B. Y, again, he kind of gets open there. Nothing really open, and we're just going to throw the ball away because right here, fitting in tight passes, if something gets tipped, it's getting intercepted. So, you know, you want to use your head, just throw the ball away. You have 2 to 3 more downs to make something happen. Here, we have A open out of this Y sail play. I throw it a little bit earlier because he's playing the outside heavy, and Seibert actually makes an amazing catch, or Saubert. You notice I end up subbing him out for Dulcich because Dulcich is higher rated after this play, but that was an amazing catch and a very good drive to answer back. Pretty quick for us ourselves. We didn't necessarily show too much of our offense, and 8 plays, 76 yards, similar to him, which we love to see. So, tie game, just under the first quarter. Now, if he plays this right, he can make this the last drive of the half, score a touchdown, knowing that I do get the football at half. So, it is important to get a stop here because you don't want that to happen. That puts you just behind the 8 ball for the rest of the game. You want an opportunity here to get in front of the 8 ball. So, that is exactly what we're going to try and do defensively. Now, again, we have kind of an idea on what we're facing. He's going to come out in 5 wide, which means he's probably going to look for one of those quick streaks. So, against 5 wide, I'm a big dollar guy. There's no threat of the run, so there's no concern. We end up making some substitutions here to get some more athletic guys at the linebacker position because some faster guys, if we end up having to use them. I still don't make the adjustment of moving those guys down. I think I went to, and you see I actually was going to move Simmons down right there, but he just snapped the ball. And this guy did snap the ball really quickly, if I remember correctly, so I think that's something that we'll see a lot more. Me trying to set up my defense and him just snapping the ball. And he has Aaron Rodgers. That's what he should do because he can throw the ball fast. And that's what A-Rod does in real life as well. So, end of the first quarter, 7-7. We're in a good spot, I think. Again, we do get the football at half, so some good game management, and I think we're in a good spot. He does go back to this deuce close here. Now, he did not run the ball to this formation, but you notice what I did is I already brought one of those safeties down on Mercedes Lewis. And again, we're just sticking with man coverage. He hasn't really had to beat the man coverage. He did beat Lazard, but that was quarters. And that might have been because I didn't have match on. I'm not sure. But here he's going to go to a little bench. For whatever reason, Simmons just kept backing up instead of, meeting him there and moving down. So he is able to pick up a short little gain of 6 yards again. A lot of these quick passes, he hasn't really had to develop too much. So he's, really just getting the ball out quick. It's where I'm not seeing a lot. Here you notice we're just bringing these big boys down, which is the right idea. Again, letting our user be on the running back. If you watched the last video, you know that for that spinner play, that is what I like to do. Just use the guy on the running back position. He ends up going to base, and we are able to shoot it pretty good. Again, people sleep on Dollar. Dollar is pretty good against the run, especially when you're bringing these safeties down like that. He goes to a play action, and everything is absolutely caged. He throws it right at my user with Anthony Harris. We hit him with a little spin move. He does not get open, but that is the stop that we needed. You force him to pass. You force him to make a full read, a fully developing read, and it was clear from that moment that he was unable to do so. and it puts us in a really good spot. Now we are at midfield, so taking the bulk of the time is a little bit tough. Here we just try and run a quick snap PA read setup. All I did was fade B, try and catch him off guard. It didn't work, but I think I do end up going back to that play because it is good. You have a stock zig route. That little crosser does get open. Here, back in the fade out, I go back to that first setup, but all I do differently is I put B on a drag now. Just get some more intermediate. It's man coverage. Y is open. You notice he fries man coverage out of that route, but there was a safety over there, so if I threw it, I didn't want it to be intercepted. And I think I could have fit it in, but being that it was on the short side of the field, it's a pass that I wouldn't routinely make unless I had to. And again, if that's on the wide side like it is now, it's a lot. I'm more likely to throw it. I go right back to the fade out. Or actually, I go back to base rather. Again, you see the patient. So much patience that I wasn't holding the right trigger, and I kind of stopped and go and just let everything develop. We had such a huge gap that no one within me 5 yards. I have the option to do that, and we're picking up huge chunks with the run. Now, clock management wise, again, not the best showing because what ended up happening, we're down here with 2 minutes left, so he's going to get the ball back regardless. Now, again, we get ball half, so I'm chilling. We go back to the silent pivot. I think I had B open, but a poor read there. Again, B was probably wide open on the high ball. We tried to fit in Y. I was just kind of staring down him the whole time out of that play. I need to do a better job looking at the other guys because I really only look at those zig routes, what I noticed. Here we try and go fade out. I'm just going to try and look for the high ball with Y. I'm a little inept to throw it because Jair's there. And so we just step up in the pocket with Russell Wilson, use some of that escapability, mobility, which he needs to do more in real life. And we are into the end zone. So overall, we'll take it. That moves up 14-7. And again, he has an opportunity to score before the half. But even if he scores, we're up a possession because we get the ball first. So I'm not too bad about this. If we do allow a touchdown this drive, what we want to be the case is for it to be fast. One play touchdown so we can actually get the last laugh and have the chance to double dip the chip, so to say. So he's going to go ahead and return it. He's picking up these huge yards on these returns. I need to learn my lesson and stop kicking it deep because my kick returns, I think, got buffed in one of these patches, and pretty clear to see that that's happening based on those first two returns. He's going to come out in the weak Z close. Again, a lot of these formations, he's coming out in these under center, but he's not really running the ball out of these. He's really more running the ball bases. It's another pass, quick pass. And we bring down Aaron Rodgers. Does not have the escapability. And there wasn't really any quick hitters. Lazard was on his really only man beater there. And we took care of that with the press with, once again, I think we moved P2 over there, Patrick Surtain. Yeah, he was able to take care of that. So, once again, just blocks everybody, throws it, and Surtain was actually on the right there. And I do not know how he fit that pass, and Sammy Watkins should not have even had any opportunity at getting separation against Surtain in press man-to-man coverage on whatever slant. I think that was a slant. I don't know. He should not. Surtain should have been running that route for him. 89 corner versus washed up 80 speed Sammy Watkins. Yeah, I don't know about that one. But 3rd and 1, we have a chance to get off the field. It's in Trey White flex. Run could be in the cards here, and the O's play action, which fooled me. I thought that was for sure a run, but we end up getting the sack. 4th and 12, he's going to go hurry up. Now, again, we really got to watch out for these quick streaks, which is why, everything's kind of taken care of. And we lurk him with our user. We actually click off to make the interception. I didn't know if he was going to play it, but we get the stop regardless. And we're pretty much chilling right now. Cruise control almost. Right now, we just don't want to make a mistake. That's kind of our most important thing here. Making the correct decision, because we have an opportunity to go up at least 10.5 with the ball at half. We're in a good spot. So we go with this drive wheel. Has a nice little stock wheel route that's actually a full wheel instead of the Madden 23 wheels. So we just kind of quick snap that. It was quarters. So if he's running match, fade out is a perfect play to beat match, believe it or not. So he mixed it up there, 2-man under. Y is still open though. We're able to throw it over the top. A rat catch it, and that's Cortland Sutton. You guys know Cortland Sutton's not exactly a burner, and this is what I mean with when you ran 2-man under. We ran on that short side that one time. This time we are on the wide side of the field, and it made all the difference. We were able to fit it in. So perfect pass. Again, you pass lead it up. with the free form, you rat catch it to get the better animation, unless you're forced to possession catch or something. And we do fit that in against the deep half as well. So, and again, what I was saying is Courtland Sutton's not particular, like, he's not a burner. He's not known for his speed by any stretch of the imagination. He doesn't have bad speed, but imagine Tyreek Hill on that route, some stuff like that. So keep that in mind with that route. Very deadly. It's really the centerpiece of the offense. And we, of course, will go back to it ourselves. Now, 21-7. What happens here is the assignments get messed up where Lazard was literally wide open if he was on a streak for a touchdown. Somehow, I don't know how in the world that route got open. He threw it up for so long, and the longer the ball was in the air, the further I was falling behind. I don't know if that was Surtain or not. Here he runs that slots out play. Thankfully, we were able to knock it out with our quarters coverage there. Even without one of the abilities. Also, how does Surtain not have abilities? How is that not a thing? He's playing like the number one corner in football this year, and he just doesn't have a superstar abilities in Madden. He should have an X factor, especially over someone like Jair Alexander who gets fried every week. He should not be an X factor. Just some food for thought, EA. I don't know why they're not updating their game. Guys like Saquon Barkley should have it. It doesn't really make much sense. Here, I think he just overthrew a touchdown on that angle route. That was our user, not in position. Thankfully, we get the pressure, and Rodgers sails it. So, love to see that. Goes back to the same formation here. Here I'm in a position where I'm playing so scared. I really am just playing so scared. I don't get the playoff. I have to burn a timeout. I'm so worried about the touchdown. So we end up setting our flats super deep, 20 yards. I'm going to go to a cover 2 shell here with backed up flats. Cover 2 is actually not bad. So we end up just running this blitz. I think this DB fire. Or we just go to straight coverage. We man up those slot guys because, again, we don't want them to fit in the streak. So we do that. He ends up checking out of the hitch. We do keep him in bounds, which is what we wanted. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. He's forced to burn that timeout. So with 16 seconds, we're going to move our flats, I think, down to 20. And what happens here is I actually need to watch. I think for whatever reason, we just didn't get a press animation on the left. Take a look. Maybe it's because he's in a soft spot. He fits that in. We get a terrible hit animation. He snapped the hell out of the ball there to where I couldn't even shit over the top to get those in quad flats. If he was pressed, obviously wouldn't have been open. Everything would have been bagged. And he either throws a pick or probably time expires. But what happened there is really unfortunate. Just did not have the time to set up my defense. I was worried about manning up the tight end, manning up those slot guys, and we just couldn't shade over the top. So that's a really bad touchdown to give up, obviously. But, we're still up 7 going into the half. We get the ball. So, and think about this. He hasn't even came close to really stopping our offense. So we're still in a really, really good position to win this game. Now, 1 second left. We're just going to try and run some PA read. Chuck this thing up, Or what play do I run? Fade out. Maybe I just try and run it to B. Looks like B actually could have got open here, believe it or not. But we end up taking a sack off the 3-man rush. But, that's fine. We're going to half. And up by 7. We're in a good spot game management wise. So, we'll take it. I'm not mad at that. All right, getting the rock here. Ideally, I should probably just take a ton of time off the clock, run the football. We'll see what I end up doing. Again, I recorded this game a couple days ago, so I actually don't even fully remember what I do on every possession, as you might expect. But going back in the stack Y flex, and this is definitely a formation I would advise you guys to try. I actually enjoyed running it a lot. definitely something I might go back to just for fun, or you're playing against a buddy. This is a good fun formation to run because it's so frustrating. It's difficult to stop. The run just seems really, really good. We go back to base with Javonte Williams, only his second carry. Chase Edmonds does have like 3-4 carries of his own, but still probably should have been running the football just a little bit more overall. Here we go back to that Salem pivot. Again, I generally will just run this play stock. Here we got Dulcich on the right there. He makes a nice catch and actually able to cut up field. So again, just double zig routes. You usually just end up throwing it to the one that he's not defending. And if he goes too far outside, let's say Y gets bagged, a lot of times late, you can throw that up to B. The corner out, again, I don't usually hang on to the ball long enough to develop, but I do assume that it ends up being open. Here I think I try and open up this corner out by just streaking Cortland Sutton. So we're trying to open up the corner out here. We throw a little out route there. It is man coverage. You see he doesn't really get too much separation. We're just able to hit Chase Edmonds, really good receiving back, and he's able to pick up a lot of yards. That ended up being match coverage, so the corner outs, as you would expect, is pretty bagged. So we just make the smart read. And you see I'm mixing it up, having a little fun. He hasn't really stopped any of the plays, so we're just throwing some cool routes out there like Sutton. He's on this really cool corner route. The fact is, though, he's so far outside already that it's kind of difficult to throw. So we're going to try and hit it. Nothing open here. I actually maybe had the tight end. Sutton, again, not too much space to do it, but look how much yards Russell Wilson picks up there. Almost 30 yards. And again, man coverage will do that to you the same way in real life. If it's man coverage, nobody's on the QB, and generally nobody will be in sight as well. You only have 2 deep zones, so no zones in the middle of the field to bring him down, and of course no QB spy. Here, fade out, we're just going to throw it up. Not my best pass lead. Probably should have just straight up pass led it up. I think I pass led to the outside there, or diagonal, so that did end up hurting us. You can tell he's open there, and I really just want to go back to it. So we're going to throw RB on a little streak here. And he's using it. He actually started using Jair Alexander, funny enough. So he's dumping it out to Tim Patrick. He ends up taking it into the end zone. I wasn't expecting him to break all those tackles, but he ended up doing it anyways. And, we'll take that offensively. An easier touchdown. Again, it's so funny that he's so worried. Even after throwing the incompletion about that wheel route with the receiver, and again, even if it's one-on-one, you can throw it up, and a lot of times you'll aggressive catch it. You guys know it's Madden 23. Ags are a thing. So that's a very real possibility that could happen. The aggressive catch, so it's not out of the ordinary that could be the case, honestly. So, if you're ever in a 4th down, nothing's open, feel free to throw it up. If it's one-on-one coverage, even 2-on-1, if you have Carmichael type in Ultimate Team. He's gonna go to a gun bunch here, which he hasn't really ran a whole lot of gun bunch, so I'm interested to see what he's doing again. We're bringing these guys down. We man up that linebacker. So again, every quick throw option is addressed. He throws Jones on this little out route, and he ends up just throwing a streak. And Surtain just gets a little buoyed right there. I could not explain it, but that's exactly what I was going back to what I was saying. Throw it up one-on-one coverage. He could have the best corner in the game. And again, abilities would help there. Knockout, he's knocking that out. But he ends up making a nice play and then gets the tackle battle. I wasn't ready for that, and he's probably spamming A to break the tackles, which he does. So, hey, hats off to him. You can't blame anyone for doing that. It's in the game. So, that's nice possession by him. Now, again, myself, I'm not trying to score in one play like that. I'm looking to take the time off the clock. So, I'm fine with the drives that we had. We haven't had too many big plays, but again, game management-wise, we're trying to take time off the clock here. We're trying to win the game. As much as I love to show off the offense, I want to win. I'm a competitor, so that's kind of the thought process that we have offensively. So I'm just looking at some new plays, looking at things like levels. We go to the base with Edmonds. Finally, he's able to, somewhat stop it. And he didn't even really stop it. We picked up 2 yards still, but our yards per carry on that play was like 10. So he finally steps up and does something. Here we try and go PA read, I think, just quick snap. I do want Edmonds on a little route to the left, so we do that. So there's no play action, which kind of hurts that I like having the play action. But check it down to Chase Edmonds in the flats. And again, those running back routes have been killer all game. They've been open all game, really. And he hasn't, ever shown to stop it. Again, he's really struggling defensively. I don't think he's putting too many adjustments out there. He's really just calling some stock coverages, cover threes, man coverage. He audibles there. But again, we have him right where we want him using Jair Alexander. And you will see he is using Jair. And this time he's in a curl flat to where we just have these underneath routes open. So later in the game, you'll see I end up going to things like fade out. And the out route's just wide open. Maybe even happens right here. I try and throw Judy on a little flat there, but we just go zig. I'm sorry you guys can't see the player because the stupid 20,000 momentum abilities and crap is standing there, but he stops using that outside cornerback, and we might have had a Y, but again, short side of the field, it's a little bit risky, and I don't want to afford to make the mistake, so we're just going to check it down to the zig. Even against cover 2, zig actually gets open, so that's nice, of course, and that is going to take us to the fourth quarter. So overall, we've played a pretty perfect game, especially offensively with Russell Wilson and this Denver Broncos offense that's averaging 14 points a game. We already doubled their season average, so. And again, perfect. We haven't really made a mistake. No really contested throws either, so. Definitely a perfect game, I would say, by me offensively so far. No, I haven't really made a mistake. Maybe I'm passing a little bit too much. Some of you guys may be screaming through the screen, why is he not running the ball? That's a gameplay. We're trying to have some fun. So fade out again. We have these little drags open. These are just open all game. Again, he's playing so far up. These are open for the boys, and the drags are about 7 yards. So you kind of be an idiot not to take it. We go back to this Y sail, which is a play I did not run enough. Again, flats just being wide open, so we check it down to Javonte. Basically like a run, but again, also we're staying in bounds. We're taking a lot of time off the clock as well while doing it. So it's good both ways. You know, you'd love the big plays, but what we're doing here is even better. We're picking up 10 yards per throw round, and we're taking a lot of time off the clock. You saw I ran shoot clock there, and we actually did go back to the base. He decided, all right, I'm going to take things into my own hands. I'm going to user that guy, and he just took a dove at the knees, hoping for something. Just did not work out from there, though. So maybe if I wasn't patient, that's probably actually a tackle. But since we know how to run the football, we're patient, we were able to take advantage. And we go right back to the ground game with Javonte again. We'll stop and go. Would have been money if this was Madden 20. But take a look at the clock. We're almost at the 2-minute warning. You know, in regs with this 40-second play clock, it just moves so fast. So if you're not paying attention, the game can almost pass you by with how long these drives went. It hasn't even been too many plays, I feel like, but just slowly picking up these first downs here. That is exactly what I was talking about, where we ran fade out. He's using that Jair Alexander, I think, in the quarter flat. And so we just, all right, you're going to use her deep. We'll just take this little out route, you know. I leave the out route a lot of times for that purpose. It's good against man coverage as well. So if it's man, you have the wheel and the out route that in a lot of cases are both open. So definitely some solid displays of heart, passion from the team. We go to base, and Javonte Williams is in for 6. I could have, fell down, used all his timeouts, but it's an offensive gameplay, so putting up 35 points on the board definitely shows you how good this offense is. And again, we're using Denver. We're not using like the best team in the game. Denver still is decent. Russ is still good, but it's not the best team in the game for sure. You could be using the Bills or someone like that. That Bengals, really good team. Cardinals, really good team. And again, we took so much time off the clock for it only being, I think it was 11 plays. I missed it on the screen, but up by 14. 3, he does have 3 timeouts, but he needs, of course, a quick score. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Try and force him into a mistake. He's going to take it out with Nixon here, and I think does not get back to the 25. So poor decision number 1 there. The drive takes some time off the clock, which really need to save all the time you can get. And what do I do here? I think I go back to spinner. Or I do not go back to spinner. I just drop everybody back. He ends up forcing it deep. And Ronald Darby I would not throw that up to Sammy Watkins out of all my receivers. Ronald Darby makes the pick, and that's going to end the game. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you drop a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel down below. Let me know what you want to see next, and peace. I'm out of here.